Something to you. Wait a minute, stop, time out.
I got light on. I got light.
Telling that doctor, and I know you're not listening to me. We're not doing notes. We're not doing all this. And I don't understand. I'm getting some attitude from you and I don't understand that. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Sir? All right.
These defendants walked into court entitled, rude, and completely delusional. This is the top 5 entitled punks who thought they could talk back to Judge Boyd, but they learned the hard way.
I do think he needs some jail time. He has some issues. He has attitude issues, and he has learned nothing from this entire thing. Are you employed?
No, not right now, man.
So how are you supporting 7 children?
I go to honor and staffing. I do that like frequently. Whenever they have a job opening, just go. I recently was working at True Blue Granite and Stone, but I had to quit because I had to start watching my kids.
Children, kids are baby goats.
You know?
Kids are baby goats. So you're watching your children.
Right.
How old are your children?
My oldest is 14. I've been taking care of him since he was 2.
But no. I want the ages of all your children.
My biological ones.
All right. How many biological children do you
I
have?
got 6 biological, and I've been taking care of.
What are their ages? The 6.
8, 6, and my boy 5, 4, 3, and 2.
And the other child that you say is not your biological child?
He's 14.
Now, so you have a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, and 8-year-old. What are their dates of birth?
One is
Well,
December
let's start with the 8-year-old. What's the date of birth?
Her name's Anna. She's December 2nd, 2014.
6-year-old?
Zalea Harris, December 19th, 2016.
5-year-old?
Anthony, he born October 20th, 2015.
You're doing a question with me. I wasn't there.
I don't know the years that they was born. I can tell you all their birthdays and.
Well, they need that. Let me just give you a hint. Moms are tired of being in charge of keeping birth certificates.
Mhm.
Moms have to keep the birth certificates. Mom keeps the social security cards. Dads need to start knowing that. So you need to know everybody. So the 4-year-old, what's the date of birth?
That's my October the 4th.
3-year-old?
October the 4th. I mean, no, his is February 22nd. And then I got the 2-year-old October 4th. They both by the same mama. They end up having the same birthday.
All right.
They 2 years
So
apart.
you have, so that's the same mother.
Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am.
How many mothers are with these children?
I only have two.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. And the 14-year-old, what's the date of birth?
His is February 5th. I don't know, I'm not his real father, but I've been there since he was like 2.
Well, see, I hate when people say they're not somebody's real father.
But I'm really,
You're the stepfather, or
no, I'm
you're
really,
just somebody passing
no,
through.
I'm his real father, but I ain't mean like, bloodline. No. But I've been there since day 1.
All right, you're gonna have to get a job. You have to support children.
Yes, ma'am.
As I tell everyone, children, you cannot put them at Travis Park and say, you've been created, go forth and live.
Yes, ma'am.
And children need more than love. I know people say, I love my children, I give them love. This is not Little House on the Prairie where somebody's working, bringing in the crops. You've got to financially support them. So it takes love, it takes financial support, and all of the children are going to need help with schoolwork. How far did you go in school?
Oh, I got my GED at like 16.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life to better yourself?
I honestly just see my life as just raising my kids, making sure they don't go through what I went through.
Well, I mean, it's more than raising your children because kids are baby goats.
Mhm.
So, no, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm trying to figure out where you're planning on going with your life, because a minimum wage job, it's going to be very difficult, even if the mothers are helping you and you all are pooling your money. A middle-aged job for 7 children is really not a lot. And then if your children decide to go to college, I think everybody here can tell you, depending on what they want to do when they go to college, every one of these children is at a minimum of $100,000. So 7 children, if they all decide to go to college, that's $700,000.
Yes, ma'am. I was trying to start a trade at SCI, but I had stopped there too. I was trying to get a trade for HVAC, but I stopped there too. I was just started watching the kids.
Kids are baby goats.
Baby goats.
That's the definition of a kid. It's a baby goat.
Oh, children.
Yes. All right, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, when you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And you are going to get drug tested today.
Marijuana.
And what else?
That's it.
All right. You're not allowed to use marijuana on probation. You're not allowed to drink alcohol while on probation. Do you understand?
That's wrong.
And marijuana is not something that you should be using, period, when you have children, because you're trying to set an example for them.
That's wrong.
And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you say, well, I only smoke marijuana outside the household. Guess what? Your clothes smell like marijuana. And then children go to school smelling like marijuana. And then when children go to school smelling like marijuana, guess what? All the other children know what marijuana smells like and they tease them. Ha ha, your dad used marijuana. Ha ha, your dad doesn't have a job. Because children can be cruel. And sometimes people say children are really, really cruel. They just don't have a filter. So they just come at it 100% honesty. And sometimes that's true, but then sometimes children have been raised a certain way and they are cruel. So don't let that be a hindrance from your children, something that you've been doing that's impacting their life in a negative way. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There's a $1,500 fine. And who's taking care of the 7 children right now?
Their mothers, like now. Like, what do you mean?
I mean, where are they?
Like today, right now?
Yes, because they're not in the
School.
courtroom.
Everybody in school.
Well, not the 2-year-old
The 2-year-old go to daycare.
and the 3-year-old.
He the only one that ain't in school.
So who's taking care of him?
His mama.
All right. So basically, you're going to get a job.
That's fine. I always get a job.
Well, you say that, but you don't have a job right now.
It's because
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
All right. You're getting a job. You're getting employment. You're an adult male. I will tell you, in my household, and I say my household, but when I was growing up, you know what the rules were in the household? You're either going to school or you're getting a full-time job. The end. There was none of this. Oh, I have these children. I'm taking care of them because I can't find a job. No. And I think all sexes are equal, but at the same time, there's just something odd about a man not getting a job to support 7 children and the mothers getting jobs to support 7 children. It takes a team effort. And I think people here who are parents will tell you it takes a team effort to raise children. And part of that team effort is everybody bringing money into the household. All right, there's going to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month until further notice. I'm going to want UAs. We're going to test for levels. And we're going to do the UA hotline until further notice. Those levels had better start going down. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I want him evaluated for gang supervision, 4 years deferred adjudication. Defense.
Judge, I believe a sentence in the range of 2 to 4 years is appropriate for Mr. Parker. And just brief argument on that issue, Judge.
Yes.
This is a case where Mr. Parker just never got a good start on probation. He was sent, got him probation, almost immediately tested positive for narcotics. Then he just got afraid and never showed back up. He did get arrested for failure to identify as fugitive. He's pled guilty to that charge and taking responsibility for it. He's standing before the court today, taking responsibility for his failures on probation. I believe a sentence between 2 to 4 years is appropriate for Mr. Parker, and we just leave it to the discretion of the court.
All right. So counsel, I know you were not the previous attorneys on this case,
That's
but his plea bargain agreement was open to the court. So what that meant is that the state wanted him to go to prison. I gave him deferred adjudication. And I tell everyone in this court, if there's an issue with probation or if there's something you need and you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can come to this court. And I think it's safe to say every defendant who passes through this court know that if you have a drug problem, guess what? I am going to do my best to get you all the tools and the help you need to address that drug problem. Other courts may be a little bit different. I don't know. I'm not in there. So for people to come before me and say he tested positive for drugs and then he just didn't show up, that's not a good excuse. All right, so this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding violation condition number 5 true. The court will grant the motion. Court is going to find you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Sir? All right. I will note, counsel, did he sign this?
Yes, he did. Your
All
Honor.
right, because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not that you are on deferred adjudication. Good luck to you. All right. Tender today?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 34 years old, miss.
All right, so what I do, I always give people a chance to think about the offer, especially when an offer is just tendered today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recall you for a plea deadline date, and then we'll set you for a jury trial date.
So I'm trying to get. Oh, well, I was trying to ask him if I can get the 10 years. No.
Yeah.
The judge should not hear that.
Oh, so here's the thing with, let me explain something to you. Wait a minute, stop, time out.
Dude, I got light on. I
Time
got
out.
light.
All right, we're gonna send you out. So I want you to listen to me clearly. It is not my role to hear the facts in this case. What ends up happening, if you go to a jury trial, a jury will hear it. If you want a bench trial, then I will hear the facts of the case. That's how it works. I'm not allowed to hear your plea negotiations with the state and your defense counsel unless they want me to hear that, but that is not allowed. Here's the thing, sir. I understand that you're upset and that you want to be out. I don't know why you're not facing me.
Because I'm mad, miss.
Yeah.
Because the SCPD
Uh-huh.
lied to me. They've been harassing me for 2 years.
So does he need an evaluation or no?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. We've been effectively been able to communicate.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing, because SAPD, according to you, lied to you, and because they treated you badly, that is no reason to disrespect the court. For example, the way you're treating me now, guess what? What if I were to say every inmate over there, because you treated me this way, I'm going to treat them badly, or I'm going to treat you badly because you're being disrespectful to the court? That would not be right. I don't do that. So don't do that to me. Do not, here's the thing, do not come to this court putting something on this court that somebody else did to you, because I didn't do it. So what I am telling you, if you will listen, all right, take a deep breath and listen. The state and the defense, they negotiate, and the state offers whatever they offer. The defense will tell you what the offer is. I'm not allowed, because those plea negotiations are supposed to be confidential. I'm not allowed to get involved with that. I know from what you're telling me is that you want to tell me about your case and how these charges never should have been brought, or maybe they should be dismissed. At this point in the process, it is not my job to hear that. I'm not allowed to hear that yet, unless there's a motion to suppress, or unless you want to have a bench trial and you want me to hear it, or either I will hear it when you have a jury trial. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I understand the frustrations that people will have because you're at the jail. You don't feel like you should be at the jail. You don't feel like these charges ever should have been brought. You don't feel like this case should have been indicted if people just had the facts. I understand. I understand your frustration, but do not take your frustration out on the court. I try to move these cases as quickly as possible. You have been here on January 2024, and then your court appointed counsel was ill, so he asked it to be removed. So Mr. Arguelles was appointed, and I'm sure he got on your case as quickly as possible. He's just finished a murder trial. The state just gave you an offer today. So what's going to end up happening, and I want you to hear me clearly, this is going to be recalled for March 25th. You can either accept or reject the state's offer. If you choose to reject their offer, what is going to end up happening is we're going to get you a jury trial as quickly as possible. That's how things are going to flow here. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the defense.
All right, thank you. So, counsel, have you received all discovery?
Judge, I have. I'm here because Ms. Mendoza requested that I withdraw. And in the past, I had always brought those to the court's attention. I generally see the court reject it. But recently, the new thing that is done over at the jail is they request you withdraw. Then they file a bar complaint against you. And then 20 hours later, as a lawyer, they reject the bar complaint. They end up getting another lawyer who doesn't do any better. And you've spent 20 hours of your time. I've done this 2 to 3 times in the
Oh,
last.
no, here's the thing. Ms. Mendoza? Hi, how old are you?
I'm 31.
All right, so if you want an attorney, then you need to, if you want a different attorney, you need to hire an attorney. Do you understand?
Okay, I understand, but he's basically telling me like these classes don't.
No. Here's the thing. Let me explain something to you.
Mhm.
And this is me talking to you as somebody who's been a defense attorney, somebody who's been a prosecutor. Sometimes I would have clients who would think that what they're telling me would help their case. And it wouldn't. It had nothing to do with the price of peaches. But it's always nice for clients to take classes while they're in custody, to try to get their life in order, so that maybe if an agreement is worked out, that's something that can be presented to the judge. In this court, this is the process. I make sure that the defense has all of the discovery. What does that mean, discovery? It means that he's been given everything that the state has about your case so that he can properly prepare for your case. Then I require that the state make an offer to the defense, and then the defense is ethically obligated to present that offer to you, and then you can either reject it or accept it. If you accept it, then there will be a plea agreement. I will accept the plea. If you reject it and you all are not able to come to an agreement, then it will be set for trial. Here's the problem that I see a lot with people who are charged with cases. They think that attorneys, all we do is talk. They don't think there's anything behind that. But guess what? Every attorney that you see in here, one at least has an undergraduate degree. Then they had to go to law school. And when you see attorneys talking, there's knowledge about the legal world and experience based upon their life and based upon what they have done. So just like you wouldn't go to a doctor if you needed a heart surgery, I guarantee you wouldn't be telling that doctor, and I know you're not listening to me, but I don't believe you would be telling that doctor how to do a heart surgery. I don't think you'd be handing to that doctor and saying, hey, let me show you this paperwork where I went to go to listen to somebody speak about something. And you wouldn't expect that heart surgeon to say, you know what, you're right. This is how I'm going to do that surgery. But for some people, some reason, people feel the legal profession, just anybody can do it. And you know what? If anybody could be in the legal profession, then we wouldn't have law schools, and then anybody could have their bar card and anybody could do what attorneys do. So what I'm telling you is, this is not Burger King. If you want your own attorney, that's the way to get Burger King service. The way you want it, you go out and hire an attorney. And I guarantee you, when you hire that attorney, he or she will tell you there are a few things that as a defendant, you have a choice over. You have a choice. Am I going to testify at trial or not? Am I going to accept a plea bargain or not? Those are some of your choices. But trial strategy, that's not within your purview. That's solely within the defense attorney's purview. So This attorney is willing to speak to you. This is the attorney who's been appointed to represent you. But what I can tell you is this train is going to keep moving. You understand? So all discovery has been received. State, were you able to tender an offer? Were you able to talk to your attorney about the offer that was tendered?
Yes, we talked about it.
Do you need more time to talk to him about the offer?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if y'all will sit in the box and he will talk to you, then you can reapproach counsel.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
380, State of Texas versus Samantha Mendoza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Eddie Bravanek.
are you Samantha Mendoza?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
I have, Your Honor.
Did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Mendoza, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance?
Yes, Your
Felony
Honor.
group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mendoza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I'm sorry?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with office attachment.
No objections.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
No. I'm sorry, the police, but yes, Your Honor.
No, she's not asking. you a
Yes, oh my
question.
God. Oh my God.
She's just telling you that she's looking over the document.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Again, if she asks questions, listen to what she says. and answer that question. You
Yeah,
don't
I was
understand.
supposed to, I just thought you were. Yeah.
All right, after reviewing state's exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
If the court would allow us to.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, it's pretty simple. We just asked you to follow the plea bond.
All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. And I see in the documentation that she's on parole.
She is.
All right. Has a parole been revoked?
They're waiting for me to handle these charges.
All right. Well, I can ask that this sentence run concurrent with parole. However, I have no jurisdiction to force them to do that. If they decide not to do it, they don't have to do it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this will run concurrent with parole.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm assuming it's the case that the state, the enhancement, 2021 CR 11775. And there's also, according to this police report, there was an evading as well, and I don't have an evading case number. All right, thank you. All right, anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
And did you sign it?
yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
I'm 31.
You're 31. Do you have any children?
No.
All right, so here's the thing. You're 31. You still have a chance to improve your life. You got to start making a decision. Do you want to still continue to live this chaotic lifestyle or not? The vehicle you were in, think about it, had no steering column because somebody had stolen it.
Yeah.
The window is busted out. And that's the vehicle you're driving around in. You know? So either you're going to continue to use drugs, continue to do this craziness, and guess what? If you come back to a felony court, depending on the level of felony, your minimum sentence is going to be 25 years. And you need to ask yourself, whatever you're doing in the free world that is against the law, is it worth potentially 25 years of your life? If it is, you'll do it. And guess what'll happen? You will wake up, you will find a majority of your life has been spent in prison. You understand?
Yes.
And if a majority of your life is spent in prison, it's not your attorney's fault. It's not the judge's fault. You know whose fault it is? Yes. All right. So when you go back to prison, try to improve yourself. If you don't have your GED, get your GED. If you don't have a college degree or have any type of trade, you can get that. It's free at the prison. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you.
Would help.
All right. Have you ever had employment? Doing what? All right. Why are you arguing with your sister over a charger?
She started it. It was really that.
All right, I see now why the reason why they're recommending the MRT. I don't know how getting into an argument with your sister, and how old is she? She's 16, you're 19, you're getting in an argument with a 16-year-old, and this turns into a weapon and destroying a weapon. So what were you planning on doing? Were you planning on injuring your sister? Then why would you even do this? I don't understand what's wrong with young people today. You're bringing nothing to the table. You don't have your GED. Public education is free. And as I tell everybody, people come over here from other countries, don't even speak English language. And the next thing you know, that person is the valedictorian of your school or first in your class, because other people don't want to take advantage of the free opportunities that you have here. Slaves were not allowed to read or write. And they ended up sometimes, to their detriment, to their death, learning how to read and write. And here you are with free education, and you don't take advantage of it. All you're doing is hanging around with your hoodlum friends. And I'm going to say hoodlum friends, because they're not up to anything. You're not up to any good. You're at the Bear County Jail, and I'm sure your attorney told you not to make phone calls. You're not listening. And probably if you didn't make that phone call at the jail, you probably wouldn't even be here. And don't tell me you didn't know the phone was recorded, because every time at the Bear County Jail, and I would tell my clients too, I don't know why you get an attitude with me, because I'll give you 180 days at the state jail facility to give you a little taste of what it is. I know that every time there's a phone call made from the jail, what ends up happening is they give the defendant's name, SID number, and they tell you that this call is being recorded. But you still going forward with that nonsense, you know, trying to injure your sister who's only 16 over a phone charge that probably neither one of you paid for. Your mom is probably the only person who working, and you all are doing stupid stuff. And now, look at you now, you're in an orange uniform, no education, with a SID number, and now you're going to be on paper, and you're going to have this felony following you around wherever you go, because you don't want to get your education, and you want to hang out with some thugs because y'all are watching video games or whatever nonsense y'all are doing, Fast and the Furious or The Godfather, and think that this is what life is about. That whole little thing that I read in the waiver, you all could have ended up getting killed running around with a gun, you and your friend. And then you know what would end up happening? Your mom would have been crying on the news asking people to do a GoFundMe. I do think he needs some jail time. He has some issues. He has attitude issues, and he has learned nothing from this entire thing. So, counsel, do you want to tell me why I shouldn't give him a taste of the state jail facility to get his attitude in check?
Your Honor, I think he's been in custody for, I believe, 90 days now. And in speaking with him, he wants to get back to work. He wants to get his education. I think that that time period in the facility already, or in Bear County Jail, has given him at least a taste of what it could be. And I think that in this situation, giving him the opportunity to get his education and get back on track is warranted. He's young, and I understand that he could be sentenced and go to a state jail facility, but I don't think that that would benefit him. I think that if we're looking at rehabilitation, getting his education, taking the courses that the state recommended, and doing what he needs to do while being supervised by Bear County would better serve him.
State?
Your Honor, the defendant does not have much criminal history, at least in the way of any convictions. Given his age and given his acceptance of responsibility, the state would recommend going forward with our recommendation for deferred.
Do you have any children? Please tell me you don't have any children. Well, I want you to be truthful, but I'm hoping you don't have any children because you're not ready for them. Do you have any children? Probation, what do you think about the conditions of MRT and anger management?
Judge, I think those would be good. I would also probably add the safety course.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, the court will sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Carlicia Johnson. And you say that he would be living with his mom. Where is the 16-year-old going to be living?
That's his stepsister, Your Honor. She doesn't live at the same residence.
All right, so there'll be no contact with Carlicia Johnson. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. $100 hours of community service restitution. You're either obtaining your GED or you're going to obtain some kind of trade school certificate. Do you understand? Once he does that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Anger management. Firearm safety course. The MRT The MRT is supposed to help you make decisions, correct decisions, think things through before you act. Now, with regards to the TAP evaluation, have you used any drugs in the past? No marijuana? No alcohol? All right, TAP evaluation, that can be done out of custody. I'm gonna want field visits 1 time per month for 8 months. Probation, is there anything else? Anything else you need from the court? All right, this will run concurrent with 2024 CC 737065. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You had better start making better choices. Yep, still has the attitude. I still think I should have sent him to prison as a condition.
Judge, may I be excused?
Yes. It still could happen.
Sorry.
The court's ready.
Yes,
That's your objections.
okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Are you employed? That's either yes or no.
No.
All right. How long have you been unemployed?
Actual 9 to 5. I'm not even sure. I do side jobs. In the company.
All right. If you are on probation in this court, I require a job, and I require a job where someone gives you a W-2. You understand?
Well, I'll have my own W-2 soon. I move the company.
You need to provide proof of that. Do you have any children?
Yes.
How many? What are their ages?
4 and 1 on the way.
Who do you live with?
I don't want my.
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? For everything, and that includes marijuana, alcohol, all of that.
I feel a little dirty.
Have you ever used anything other than marijuana? That's either yes or no. We're not doing notes. We're not doing all this, and I don't understand. I'm getting some attitude from you, and I don't understand that. If you want to wear a Michael Jordan jersey, Michael Jordan could afford to have attitude because he was exhibiting greatness. You are not. So there's to be no attitude towards me in this court. Do you understand? And you will get a job. Do you understand? Am I speaking a foreign language to you? All right, then you need to answer my question. Do you understand that you will get a job?
Should I leave it?
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna step back, you'll wait, I'll take up sentencing later. And counsel, if you want to speak to your client about his attitude.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. 0, State of Texas versus Kevin Jones for defense
Charles Buck.
and state.
Jason Garrett.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 9 years in prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs, and he needs to be tested for levels. There's a $2,500 fine. That'll be probated. What are the court costs in this case, please? Take in consideration 2023 CR 4278. There's to be restitution to SAPD for drug testing. I'm going to want field visits one time per month until further notice. 220 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to ask for parenting classes. Once he completes that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. What's the cost? All right, the court costs in this case are $325. Will you be able to pay that in installments? Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right,
Did you,
yes,
sorry, did you say 9 years probated for 8?
yes. All right. If he completes everything successfully, then he can always come back.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. May we be excused?
Yes. Who's here on Jamar Simmons?
We're conferring in the back, Judge.
Okay, so why is he continuing to violate? I mean, why is he violating probation?
Well, Judge, if you look at the 3 conditions, 2 of which have now been waived. The evading, I conferred with the state. It was something I've actually filed a motion for continuance. Because when you look at the police report, it was an execution of a search warrant at a location not my client's. And he was outside of the house. When the police arrived, everyone ran. My client states that he heard bangs. He was fearing for his life. So he ran and hid, and they found him hiding behind a shed in the area. The report from the probation department shows he's been clean. So that was a stupid mistake, Judge. The state and I looked at it. The motion was to get the video, but we worked out this deal. He's been sitting in jail for 2 months. His mother's present, who supports him and loves him. Other than that, the other violation was something about proof of change of address. And I think when he was arrested, he gave some, I think his father's address or something, which is different. And then I think the last one was not completing community service or something like that. So he's been working on doing well. We're hoping that the three months in ISF will make sure that he understands he cannot afford any mistakes. And we're hoping that you grant him this opportunity to prove himself and keep him on probation.
All right, and state with regards to this evading, I haven't seen the police report.
Would you like the police? I mean, pretty much the rendition is that it was a drug house that he was standing outside of and with another gentleman. When the officers arrived at DPS, they did run off and did not stop when asked to stop, and that's the evader.
All right, thank you. You may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Why is it takes people to get arrested to decide they're going to change their life and they want to do things differently? He should not have even been outside a known drug house. And I don't want to hear, I didn't know it was a known drug house, because if you live in a neighborhood, no matter where you stay, you know what house is the house that you shouldn't be at.
I think the gentleman he was speaking to was his uncle, which doesn't excuse where he was, Judge, but that's the situation we have.
And doesn't excuse giving fake addresses, doesn't excuse any of this. How old are you?
25.
You want to raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Keegan Jones.
Do you know what your conditions of probation are?
Yes, sir.
Do you know part of your conditions of probation, you can't hang around people who've been in prison, who are out of prison, who are on probation? Do you realize that?
Yes, sir.
So is your uncle out of prison, been on probation, any of those things?
10 years ago. Yes, ma'am.
You can't hang around him.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't hang around any family member who's been in and out, well, who's been to prison, out of prison, on probation. It's not allowed while you're on probation. Do you want to go to prison? Then why are you behaving like you want to go to prison? Why? Why? You're 25. When are you going to grow up? And stop asking your mom to come down and cry and do this for you. Your mom should be enjoying the best days of her life, not dealing with someone who's 25 years old. You're a grown man and you're behaving like a child. When's the last time you had employment?
Before this happened.
Doing what?
Working at a moving company.
And how far did you go in school?
I graduated.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life? Other than hanging out with people you shouldn't be hanging around?
Need to stay out of trouble.
Well, everybody, I'm staying out of trouble. Are you staying out of trouble?
I try, Judge. I don't always
Everybody's staying out of
succeed.
trouble, unless it's good trouble.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
staying in bad trouble, and then you come to the court and you want to beg me to give you another chance. And you bring your mom down here when she has to pay for parking. I don't know if she drove or if she took the bus, but she could have been doing something else with her day.
Yes,
Instead, she's dealing with a grown man who don't want to behave well. Probation, is this what you all are asking for? All right, I'll deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to include the MRT, ISF, and upon release, I want him on GPS. And it's going to be partial, and it's for employment only. So what that means is you're going to be on GPS. The only thing you're allowed to do on GPS is go to work and go back home. Who are you going to be living with?
Mother.
Does your mom want you living with her?
Yes.
Did you ask her? That's either yes or no.
Yes.
If I call her up here, is she gonna say you asked her, can I live with you?
Yes.
All right, so I see you looking up to see. Is he allowed to stay with you?
He does. But he's gonna abide by what I say.
All right, if you can come forward, please. Move over there. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Anya Bledsoe?
All right. Is this your son?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he's saying that he has your permission to live at your home. Is he allowed to live at your home?
Yes, he is.
All right, so he's going to be on GPS. He will only be allowed to go to work, then he has to come home.
Yes, ma'am.
If he violates those conditions, a motion to revoke is going to be filed.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you think your son needs to be successful?
If I tell you,
No, tell me.
you need to listen.
Okay.
That's why I say, your people are the wrong, your choices of the people are the wrong thing in your mind. You can't get over, he was raised the correct way. So what he has done it doesn't make any sense. Following somebody is no good. Be a leader.
Mhm.
That's what I try to teach him. He's a good kid. He really and truly is. It's just like I say, following the wrong, even family. Because I have to cut mine out too.
Mhm.
So he will work. He helps me out with everything. He's a good kid, very mannerable and everything. And not to bring up when he was with you first time, I told him, you went up there and you let that lady tell you when you shouldn't have even acted like she wasn't talking to you. And I told him, you are to apologize to her. That's the proper thing. That is the proper thing because he wasn't raised like that. I love him to death, but I will. And he has left home before. I told him, you think you're gonna run around here and do what you wanna do, get your things and go. I can't deal, I'm not gonna deal with that.
Okay.
So, I spoke with him this time. Yes, he did, my mama do the right thing. Okay, cause I will call the police. I will turn him in. I don't have a problem with that because I don't need the headache.
All right, so let me just tell you, I'm gonna make sure you give your address to probation because when he's released from custody, that's where he's gonna be staying.
ma'am.
And she will give you the phone number of who his probation officer is gonna be.
Yes, ma'am. And I do believe as far as that address thing, on his ID is 522.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. We're gonna go. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Judge, regarding the GPS, can
All
we
right.
waive the fees?
Oh, just 1 second. Come back up, Mr. Jones. All right. Oh, don't be bowing your head like you have some kind of shame. Your mother is saving your life. You understand?
Yes.
All right, the court is going to deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include MRT, ISF upon release, and he's to remain in custody until transferred to ISF cognitive. There's going to be GPS partial for employment only, waive GPS fees, and it's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. And you are to reside with your mother until further notice.
That's state ISF, right, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You may think you're an adult, but guess what? You're going to be living in your mom's home. So if she has her rules, if she wants the television off at 10, television goes off at 10. If you want to make your own rules, you need to get your own place. And I'm telling you right now, you are not allowed to leave your mother's house or go live somewhere else without the court's permission. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is there anything you do not understand?
No, ma'am.
Anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, thank you.